you ready?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Circle of Gratitude. We want to thank you guys again for sharing the time and taking time out your day to come speak with us on a Friday night. We just had a thing, we just wanted to come in, hope everybody's doing well. Hopefully everybody's, had a great week. Thank God it's Friday. So we just sitting up here trying to we found something that I think was probably be pretty interesting to speak about. And then we just want to say God bless everybody. But yeah, we definitely found a great topic. And the topic is, where's my co-host? Where's my other co-host? I'm waiting on my little bro to come in. But my beautiful, wonderful wife is over here. I don't know why she got two of her up there. What the heck is going on? Okay, there we go. You got three of you up there, baby. What's going on? All right. All right. We're trying to get it together, folks. We're trying to get it together. But we want to thank everybody and coming here. But the topic is, what is the double standards in dating? I'm waiting on, and I think that's a pretty good subject that we could talk about right now. What is the double standards in dating? Baby, are you there? Erica? We having some technical difficulties, folks. Oh, then she then came into the studio. Mom, turn your thing off. Turn your thing off. Turn your mic off. I mean, turn your thing off, Mom. Erica? Save Mom. Save Mom. I can't hear her. Can anybody hear me? If you can hear me, just hit something in the link. Erica? You can hear me? Okay, good. We tried to hit my mother-in-law over there real quickly. But hey, we wanted, but we're here to talk about what is the double standards in dating. And I think it's a great subject because it seems that people do have double standards. They want this, they don't want that, or they want that and they don't want this. So it's different situations that has been brought up as far as especially the new dating scene has been definitely different. But if you guys wouldn't, but now, okay, so y'all can hear me. So good. You can hear me, good. So, all right, so we got it up in there. Mom, you in there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I guess you got to let me in.
No, you in.
Oh, okay.
That's my lovely mother-in-law, everyone. If you want anybody to know, that's my mother-in-law. So she's in the house. I just want to say, yeah, guys, but like I said, I mean, so would you like to speak on that, my lovely wife or my mother-in-law? Hello?
We're here.
No. Erica?
Oh, I'm here. I'm sorry. I was on mute. I thought I was.
Yeah,
I'm here. Now, what was you saying?
I said that to speak on the topic that we have up here right now is, so what do you think on that? What is your take on that? what would you say? We didn't have double standards in dating because you know we knew where we came from and where we wanted to be, but it's definitely not to do.
But I mean, this is the double standard. Like, how can, like, for instance, like you cook, I wash the dishes. But then, you know what I'm saying? But when it's the other way, like if you wash the dishes, you know, maybe that's like a double standard. Like some of the men won't be like, I don't want to wash the dishes and stuff. That's your job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But then they won't cook, you know.
yeah, but you also have to look at, you know, it's also a sense of compromise as well, because you know a lot of times you can't sit there and think. Again, we talked about this a while back that you know I shouldn't have to wait for you to come home to wash dishes. I shouldn't have to wait. You shouldn't have to wait home. I should have to wait home for you to cook because I like to cook. And I enjoy cooking. So when we was in dating, you know, we split the responsibilities. It wasn't all on one or the other. You know what I'm saying? But then also
Right.
people have double standards when it comes to you might want a person to be this perfect individual as male or female, but in reality, you know, what are you actually bringing to the situation, and what bring it to the date, or you know, or being in a relationship, you know, because things have to start off as a friendship in order to be a relationship. So do we you know, yes, you should have as you know, you spoke on it earlier about you should have a boundary, or you should have something that you definitely want to um be able to talk about when you have an issue, or you know, but it shouldn't be nobody degrading and talking against each other or whatever, you know, not especially when you know, you definitely don't do it anyway, but not when you're learning someone, you know.
We never had a relationship like that.
Well, you know, yeah, you know, it's sometimes, you know, you know, I thank God, you know, that I have ran across, you know, my wife, whatever, your daughter, that has, you know, again, like we spoke about last week, you know, make me feel as a man and you know, and beyond. So, but as far as having double standards, you know, people say I want this person to be um to make six figures, or I want this person to you know, be able to fix everything. Because you know, like I said, we spoke about this as well last week, that I made it up front. I can't fix everything. I don't know how to fix stuff. So, you know, but I pay for it, you know. But you know, I guess it's about what you require. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I think that requiring you should be able to require something. You shouldn't settle for less. But you can also bring your past relationship into a new dating situation, and now at that point you having double standards. You know what I'm saying? So somebody got a radio TV on? I don't hear TV.
My TV's on. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you good, mom. You good.
I'm
But
watching the Olympics listening.
yeah, but I mean, like I said, you know, hey sis, what's going on? Sabrina, how are you doing? Thanks for
Hey,
coming on.
Sabrina.
I can't find my remote control.
Yeah, so but definitely, you know, I think it's something that in the new so big sis, since you if you could type in the chat, what would you say? Would you think dating has double standards of today? You, Frankie, and Johnny, do you think you guys? I mean, Sabrina preferably, but Frankie and John, would you think it would be double standards for you know to in the dating scene? You know, like I said, I ain't dated in 18 years, so I don't know. I mean, maybe somebody can enlighten me because I don't know what the dating scene is about anymore. So anybody can enlighten me on what you know, what would you consider the dating double standards? And baby, I mean, I know you brought up the title and we talked about it. So really, could you elaborate on the double standards, what you feel about it as far as double standards?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking about, the standards. Everybody has standards and stuff. And then, like, should your standards, what about their standards?
Right. Okay. You there?
So it's almost like your standards to boundaries. Do you know your difference between a standard and your boundaries?
I mean, of course, what you did in the past. That just that's for instance, when when we started first dating, and I asked you like to argue. And you like, no, I don't like to argue. You know what I'm saying? But that at that point, that was going to be your boundary, because if I like to argue and you argued enough, that ain't something that you want. You know what I mean? So who's it? I hear someone walking. I hear somebody walking. Oh, there. Yeah, but
What's wrong?
Oh, mom was walking out. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That so when we first started dating, we had, that was a boundary that you wasn't willing to cross.
Right. I had boundaries and I had standards, like my standards, everybody had that common, like you need to have a job, but like I wanted, not only that, I didn't want to take care of nobody. So my standards was like you had to have your own to do your own, because I don't want to take care of you. So then those were like, once you met my standards, then it kind of went into like, can you break my boundaries? And I just been vocal about my boundaries. Like, I don't like that, and then you were respected, or you say what your boundaries were, if something I did. So we always communicated.
Correct. Yeah, but just like Sis said, she said the guys today are something different. I think that, what, Big Sis, I'm gonna say, I think that's on both sides as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too, Big.
You know what I'm saying? Because you might be the old school, you believe in dating, you believe in getting to know someone, stuff of that nature. And well, as far as a female, but a male, they don't, at certain things, some women feel that some men maybe is all about, how can they get to your body? You know what I'm saying? I get that. But then you also have men that still have morals and values. They want to find that woman to, get to learn and all this other stuff. Because guess what? Sometimes, and like you remember, you found a subject the other day about sharing souls and stuff of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Which I thought was quite interesting.
Oh, I wish I had that a little reel. It was a reel on Instagram. I'm pretty sure everybody saw it, but it's old. It's from Tiffany Haddish when she was talking about having a baby, how the DNA of that partner becomes part of you. So if you have multiple partners, you have multiple DNAs in you, especially if you have created a life.
Yeah.
And eventually, if you've been noticed, if you ever seen couples that's been around together for so long and stuff, like the woman will start favoring the man will start favoring the woman in some kind of ways, and it's just do it. Plus, it can go on a spiritual part too.
Right. But like I said, and I would agree, but that goes back to, like you said, we was talking about, I guess people sometimes don't believe in stat. I mean, I think sometimes we think with our body in our flesh versus thinking about our, mental state. Because honestly, you can see the most beautiful woman, or you can see the most handsome man, but I mean, what comes along with it? You know what I'm saying? What after you get past the physical, and what happens after that? You know what I'm saying? So some people, when we say double standards, we also got to say that some people at some point they get so frustrated and it's so lonely where they start lowering their standards as well. You know what I mean?
My standards are going to be so high, I don't think anybody can reach them.
Hey, well, hey, you gotta.
You might find that one.
Yeah, you know, right. You know what I'm saying? Because you might find that person that's on the same page. You know what I'm saying? Because because honestly, I think iron sharpens iron. You know what I mean? You know, you build one another in order to become better. You know,
Right.
so but
And that kind of goes back to like what we were saying from last week, you know. It has like what can you bring to the table? Like you can't say, "Oh, I am the table" and stuff like that, because like you have to see in somebody that they can do better for you and help you get where, or you both gonna grow. But if somebody's just pulling you down, ain't doing that's not, you know what I'm saying? That ain't for you.
right. Well, see, that goes back to high standards. You should, you should be looking for the best. What's gonna be good for you in the long run. But it again goes back to if you have nothing to bring, how could you set your standards so high? And I'm not saying you're supposed to lower your standards, but at the same token, how do you set your standards so high when you really, in reality, have nothing to offer? You know what I mean? You can't base everything on your looks.
And it's not about like what they have like to offer. It's like, can y'all grow with it? Like what you have, what they have, and then what you have, and y'all can grow with it. It's not necessarily like, oh, he has to have a house, he gotta or she gotta have, no, you have a place to go, but like, hey, it might be, I'm just saying, a studio, whatever. However, you know what I'm saying? As long as y'all have something that where y'all both see in each other that you can grow and make it into what you want, whatever your heart desires. But if somebody don't have that same type of vision, then why would you stay? That means you're lowering your standards.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But that comes with lowering your standards.
You're right, sis, but that is true that people know when you have sex with different people, you get all those spirits.
Right. Well, hello, Mr. AJ in the house.
Hey, y'all, I'll be there in a minute. I just want to make sure y'all knew I was online.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you in a minute.
Not a problem. Yeah, but so like I said, but as lowering your standards, it shouldn't even be an option. You know what I mean? I just feel that in many ways, it should never be an option to lower your standards. But
you have to have like realistic, standards.
Excellent.
Don't have those, oh, I want that, what they say, 6 figure, 6 something, 6 whatever. No, you know what I'm saying? You have to kind of envision what you put it into the atmosphere, what you want to catch you know. You got to
Right.
pray about it and manifest it. You gotta see in somebody who can spark your intelligence to get where you want to be and see the vision or see their vision that you can be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. Or, that sounds good. Or, hey, can we tweak it? And then you guys mesh and you know what I mean? It can't just be like, oh, well, I only can do on hopes and goals. But that's just what he wrote on the board or she wrote, cut magazines out. No, it's about, yeah, they have a job. They are stable. They're, you know what I'm saying? So you're not lowering your standards, but you can go into, somewhat like, hey, they ain't perfect, but they're workable on something.
But to elaborate on that, see, this is a thing, and I found this out too, and I've heard this from a few people and a few females. Well, you can also be overbearing to the point where you feel that because a person has a certain lifestyle, but they set their lifestyle prior to being with you. Now, granted, at that point, when it goes back to what you stated, you said growth. Growth is a part of a relationship. If you can't grow in any relationship, you spinning your wheels at that point. You're not doing it. You're not doing nothing with it. So, but you also have people that, find out that, as you said, you know, I want a person that got 6 figures. I want a person that has a house, whatever. But to me, you know, why not you have a house, I have a house, and we build and we get a bigger house if that's what we want, you know what I'm saying? Or as you state, you know, hey, we just get us something to
You know,
come back.
use it as a rental. One of our properties, you know, hey, we use it as a rental property, or you know, like anything. But like, as long as your vision is kind of going in the same direction and not going backwards,
Yeah.
okay, you can lower your standards down to that. But you know what I'm saying? Because y'all doing something together to make it better because you see that vision. It's not because, oh, I lowered my standards just because, oh, I've been single forever or I've been, you know, like that. No, it's just lowering if you see it in that person.
Would you say that would be in sometimes in people going through midlife crisis or thinking time passing about, or maybe in desperation to jump into something that they really don't, I mean, they don't really know nothing about?
Well, yeah, I think people are rushing. And it's just like, you don't have to rush. Because, you know, I always felt pressure like, oh, you had to be married by this time, you had to have kids by this time, you had to, you know what I'm saying? And I always felt pressure. But then it was just like, when it was like, hey, it didn't line up, you know, this, what I envisioned the way it was supposed to be, and life happened, it was just like, oh, well, there's more to this than doing it just by the books. And so now I just live, you know, as my grandma say, a little gypsy. Because you know, I like to move around,
Right.
to live, to see things. I don't want to stay still, and you know what I mean.
Be stagnant. Yeah, be complacent and whatever.
Yeah, I just don't. You know, it's just. That's just me. You know, I just like it. But then you were, hey, it goes this, and we were total opposites. But then once you saw my vision of how I was doing, you was like, all right. Now you're like, I love it. You know what I'm saying? You see why.
But you know what I found out as well though, I've seen people don't look for compatibility. You know what I'm saying? As being compatible. You know, and I get at that some point things opposites attract. But
Right.
but you know, you have, you know, I just think it's so fascinating that in just where we are now, 18 years later, that I didn't know you, you didn't know me. We met, we talked, we conversated, we talked for a few ways, we
Man,
started dating.
wow.
Now we're married. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
so I just think that, you know, here there's two different people that don't know, they know from one from another. Now it is that you come together, you have a family, you know, you build, you buy.
And we did nothing the way you supposed to do it this way. We did it our own way, what fit for us and how we felt.
Right, correct. So
on everything we did in life so far.
So far, right. You know what I mean? But nothing was traditional. As that's the better word for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's why I said, but in the same sense, you know, people meet a person and you know, and you know, I think when you spark a conversation with a person, yeah, of course, you know, what's your name, what you like, what you dislike. But then I think nobody, it's almost like in a dating scene today, and it's just my opinion. And truly, again, folks, I haven't been in the dating scene for 18 years, but I think it should be a part of the conversation. You know, where do you see, you know, like almost like an interview in a job. You know, where do you see yourself in the next, you know, 10 years, or where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? You know, kind of get a ballpark of where you know, can I build this person, or is this just somebody I just kick it with periodically? You see what I'm saying?
Everybody's such in a rush.
Right. You know, but like you said, people go through midlife crisis. People say, "Oh, well, I'm 39 years old. You know."
But then that's what I say. If you're not ready to settle down or, you know, get that relationship tight, then, you know, you find somebody that is on the same page.
Yeah. Well, but see, that's again. But do they take time to learn that person? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like nobody, I think in my opinion, that no one take time to even learn a person anymore. You know what I mean? It's like I'm physically attracted with this person. You know, they look good, they talk good, but do I really know this person? You know what I'm saying? Now they didn't skip the dating stage, they didn't went to the relationship stage. And then they went from
Right.
relationship stage to moving in. You know, and granted, and I don't want nobody to misunderstand what I'm saying, and I don't want nobody, and I'm not trying to answer anybody's question, but I'm just saying that I'm not saying you can't find love in 3 months and get married. I'm not saying that because
Right.
I've heard of people married 3 months and been together 30 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't say that because
May I interject?
huh?
May I interject?
Oh, absolutely, sir. Go ahead.
Now, I can tell you that if you don't get to know somebody like I've experienced personally, uh, it could be a world of turmoil because there are people out here with some serious mental illnesses that are seeking relationships.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm,
I would
There's some
agree.
people out here with some
yes.
serious baggage that are seeking relationships,
Right.
both male and
Yes.
female. There's individuals that have trauma, childhood trauma that are seeking relationships. Everybody
Yeah.
is seeking a relationship. So if you do not do what you just mentioned, which is get to know an individual, and let's just say you stupid enough to marry somebody in 2 weeks, uh,
Speak
if
on
you do
that.
something like that, because man, your eyes, it's just like it's like, looking at some food, a plate of food. You look at Thanksgiving, you want to eat everything. You eat everything, but man, that next day you sick as a dog because
Right,
man, you done
right.
ate everything up.
Right.
Well, your eyes can deceive you, you know.
Mhm.
The hardest road travel is probably the best one traveling. That's to get to know somebody. Because if you don't, man, the consequences are too severe for your actions.
No, I would agree. 100%.
No, it's
100%.
it's
I
it's it's
agree
it's,
with
it's
that.
scary.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
very
I
scary,
and
see
you
you,
know.
Frankie Johnny. It took you 10 years to get married. Hey, sis, I was right behind you. It took me 7.
right.
Hell, it took me 15 one time and it still didn't work out.
Yeah, but like I said, but that's the
It
thing,
will.
but that's the thing of it. Some of damn what he must have dropped. But I mean, I guess if you try to put a time limit on something that can be it sounds horrible, but I would say an investment. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to invest in that person invest in you. You know what I'm saying? So it could be lifelong, you know what I mean? And you like, if you can't see yourself some people you can't see yourself going past 90 days with or a year. You're like, oh shit, after a year, I'm good with this. I'm done with this. I can't do
Man, look, that is not horrible to say it's an investment because it is an investment. If you don't take the time to get to know an individual, and if you find out if there's an inkling in the beginning that something ain't right, man, you better go on and realize that's something you're gonna have to deal with for the rest of your life if you mess around and make those long-term commitments. So, man,
Oh,
it's
speak
an
on that,
investment.
AJ.
It's an
It is
investment.
investment.
Dude,
It's
I
definitely,
don't
yeah.
like,
So but you know what I mean. But if some people frown upon when you say investment because it shouldn't be about this, it should be that. Which of course people are very opinionated anyway. But in the same sense, I just look at because I had to invest because not only that you invest in a relationship, but you have to invest in each other because, like I said, how do you build if you don't invest in one another? I mean, that's just
that's
my
right.
opinion.
That's
But you
right.
have to
But
invest in each other.
everything ain't for everybody.
No,
Some
no, it's
people don't
true.
want to
It's
listen
true.
to that. Some people want to listen to, oh man, if they don't look this way or they don't make this amount of money or they don't, those 5 characteristics, credit, house, job, money in the bank, all those things. But a lot of those individuals that have all of those 5 qualities that people look for in a relationship, man, they're some horribly troubled individuals.
Oh,
Ooh,
absolutely.
say that again.
It's
AJ,
some
say it
horribly
again.
troubled individuals.
Yeah.
So I mean, I ain't have none of those things when I was looking. I ain't have none of those things. Hey, shoot. But I always thought I was a good person. But the
Right.
thing is
Right.
that I was a good person looking for the wrong thing. You know, I
True.
was a good person looking for the wrong thing, thinking that these are the characteristics that I want in an individual, and they weren't those five either. But but even still, the thing was that these individuals were troubled. They would, and I hate to say, I no damage, man. Let's be real, damage that hasn't been repaired, that hasn't even been looked at, that hasn't been reviewed at all. You damaged and don't even care about your damage. Let me just bring my
Right.
damage to this individual over here who's damaged themselves. So two damaged individuals running around here talking about they in love, but they want to
Right.
cultivate or make a
Don't
relationship,
say it like
have some
that.
kids. That's
No,
true.
but it's
But
true.
he's
Have some
talking some
kids.
truth though.
It's true.
You
Yeah,
know,
it is.
have some
You're
kids and
right.
then
Two
have
damaged
some,
individuals. You know what I mean?
yeah,
After like
have
you
some
know what I'm
damaged
saying?
kids.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but again, people. I get people want what they want. I understand it. Fully understand
Who
that.
doesn't?
But in the same sense, when I've mentioned this many times before. People are getting in a relationship and know they really wasn't ready for a relationship, or they ready to make that investment. You know what I'm saying? It sounded good for the moment. You know what I mean? Hey man,
Absolutely.
Johnny and Jane over here married, and William and Cindy is over here married. So guess what? It sounds good. Why don't we get married too?
Yeah. I
You
wanted to
see
do
what
it
I'm
by the
saying?
time I was a certain age, and it just happened to
Yeah,
be
that's
very
what I was talking
young.
about, AJ. I had said I always felt like life I had to be, by 25, you're supposed to be settled down, get ready to get married. You know what I'm saying? You're
But
supposed to be almost
not realizing that we all have a different maturation rate. We grow and mature
right.
at
And
different
that's what
rates.
I said when I got 25. Didn't do that. I was like, oh, okay, well, now I got a taste of moving around, relaxing that, okay, life. So I didn't go that way. And it's okay. Because I was having midlife
Hmm.
crisis. I was like 25. I got, check a whole new check box in the, life.
Hmm.
I'm going to be grown now. It's not cute what I did when I was 20, 22 and 21, 18. That stuff was cute and I was giving a pass. Now I am grown, and it was
Hmm.
like, ooh, this stuff didn't happen like it was supposed to, or what I envisioned and planned for and tried to go. And it was kind of like, okay, life,
And
but it's
what you
okay
thought
if it
was the
doesn't go
right
in that
person.
order. Yeah.
Yeah, what you thought
Because
was
he
the
was
right
the total
person.
opposite.
Hmm.
Shaq was the total opposite where life was just like he was steady, that's how he was doing. And, now he lives my way.
Ah.
Yeah, okay.
Now, now, now you
meaning is
can't make
meaning
them.
like
Can't
when I
make
say
them.
that, like he worked at his job for like 23 years. Okay. I worked there for 5. I was just like, okay, and I'm okay, and I move on. No problem. Where now I was like, I want to move to a different state. He was like, okay, let's try. I've been wanting to. Now he's like, I see why. And this, we relax, we do
Yeah.
different things. And, because he would have been probably still at the same job if I
Yeah.
didn't come along.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Another.
Well, I don't know, maybe not, because he still had a hunger to do something, but he just
Yeah, no,
didn't know
I
it.
mean, but I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know
he ain't
where
know
he
it.
would have been. You know what I'm saying?
Because
He would
I
have
was
did
trying to
something
get him in law
different,
enforcement.
But
I
you
was
know
trying to
what?
get him in law enforcement
Yeah, he was
no,
constantly.
he
trying to get.
was.
He
He
definitely
sure
trying to get
was.
me in law enforcement. But another thing that I say what I say, and I think people can. I think we all can agree with this. When you deal with a person and a person tear you down so far, you know what I always tell them, you should have left me where the hell I was. Why did you bother me? Why did you mess with me? Now, granted, I made the choice to be with, and I'm saying this personally. Why didn't you just leave me the hell alone? Because I was minding my own damn business, but you brought me into all this madness, and now here it is, no longer with you, and then you try to turn my life upside down. Why not just leave me where I
Mm.
was? But at the same token, some people, or they used to always say they got the home wreckers and then this, but I think people go through stuff in their life and they get in people's life to disrupt their life, and then they'll move on to the next person. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about being in 10, 11 relationships. They don't care about being married 25, 30 times. They don't care about it. It's just, it's almost like a fad or something. You know, oh, I got married. How many times you been married? Oh, I've been married about 10 times, man. It's okay. I'm gonna keep doing it till I get it right. I mean, I don't know. You know, but certain
To each
people,
his own.
yeah, to each their own, you know. But one thing I always say this, and I've shared this, and Erica will tell you this, and I think someone that's on here now too. I always say, never compromise your happiness. When you start compromising your happiness, your peace, that's a problem. Now that's a whole nother animal.
You know, repeat that with me.
You know what I'm saying?
I was listening to somebody today about that same situation where they was talking about how, you know, their peace is just disrupted. And they 18, 19 years old. I'm like, your peace is disrupted at 18 and 19? And then when I heard what was going on, I said, oh, yeah, jeez. I mean, yeah, well, y'all gonna keep that over there.
Right. Keep that energy over there because we don't need that over here.
Ooh, right? Man, I don't need that over there. Only time I have bad times is when I go to sleep and dream of being back in the place where I wasn't at, where I'm not no more.
That's a nightmare.
So, no,
that's a
nightmare. That's a nightmare.
All right.
That's a nightmare. And I'm looking back like somebody chasing me.
You know, and it goes back to also when it goes to another steps, you know what I'm saying? When they start, and I think you said it, and I think Erica said it as well, man, when you start carrying that extra baggage back and forth from one situation to the next, to the next, to the next situation. So it's an ongoing effect. So at one point, you know, when do you break that cycle? You know what I'm saying? When do you say, okay, this is not working for me. Look, this is not, like your boy said, this is not working for me, you know, and not realizing that if it's not working for you, then you need to try something different. You know what I'm saying? Because
and know that no one travels without luggage, okay? Nobody moves around without luggage.
Granted. No.
You got some, they got some.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? But it just, you know, but I just, like I said, it's just the point of when you carrying that on and on and on. And like I said, it goes back to what I said, that people are not really want relationships. They just want a status. You know, like I said, everybody else, you know, it's not about really building and being in a relationship and growing. It's about, I got a boyfriend, I got a girlfriend. And granted, like we all grown. What the hell? I mean, boyfriend, girlfriend. You dating or you're not dating shit. I mean, who says girlfriend, boyfriend anymore? Oh, that's my girlfriend. That's my boyfriend. Because guess what? Since my wife be throwing me under the bus, it took this woman after we was married. She was still calling me her boyfriend.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
We've been married about 2 or 3 years.
You want to make sure you wouldn't carry your luggage in the garbage bag. You carry your luggage in the garbage bag with holes in it. That's all that was.
Wait a minute, I'm your husband.
Hey, I just had to make sure it was all right. I ain't gonna let him get comfortable.
That's right. I ain't mad at you, Erica.
Hey, I'm coming a long ways. I came a long way.
No, very not. But that was, I mean, I'm saying it in a joking way, but
that was a true statement, though. I did take a long time to call him husband.
Yeah, but now you can't keep husband out of her mouth. So you can't keep husband out of her mouth, but which is a wonderful thing. But you know what I'm saying, it's just a different, and you know, and we always say this, Strickland, you can probably vouch for this as well, man. You know, what works for you might not work for me. Why do I work for me work for you? You get what I'm saying? So I can give you our blueprint of how it works for us. And of course, you can reach in there and grab what you think that might work with you guys, you know, with your situation. But in reality, I might be okay with my wife slapping me upside my face, but then the next man won't. You know, I'm just giving an example, you know, whatever. But
don't you say I've been trying to beat you over here on a little serious?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm just use that example. But what I'm saying is, but somebody okay with, the name calling thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some people that
Yeah.
might work for them as name calling. You call me a MF, I call you this, and you call me that.
Now I recall a similar situation like that many years ago, and I said, man, I don't know if that's too healthy, man. That old name calling back and forth, man, that's kind of rough.
Yeah,
When you see it, you like, but you're comfortable with it because y'all, you just in that space where you feel like that's an easy way to talk. But fact of the matter is, I don't know a relationship I've ever been in where I would call a woman out of her name while we were in the relationship. Because when it was over, it was over. Now,
Right.
I don't really call them too many out of the name anyway, but I'm just saying that. But the thing is that, to have done it on a regular basis, it doesn't make it work or not work, but I know it just is a course of easily, you can't put stuff back in the toothpaste package. That's all I say. Toothpaste don't go reverse, it goes forward,
Right.
and you can't put it back in there. You can try, but it's still all over the damn tube. It's there. Name calling, that's just something that just don't, talking crazy, doing mean things. Those are things you just find yourself not wanting to do with the right person. The right person, you just want to make them happy. You just want to see them happy. Seeing them upset disturbs you. Seeing them, cry disturbs you. That's not something you want to do.
Right. That you learn
I
from
would
that.
agree.
Right.
You shouldn't want to see the person that you care about, hurt.
Upset.
You know what I'm saying? Right, absurd or hurt. But here goes the thing. This is the thing that some people thrived, and I was in one, on making themselves look bigger than you or better than you, or start pointing the fingers at you because, well, if we discussing something, okay, you didn't do something. Well, Erica, you didn't do this. Well, you didn't do this. Well, guess what? How are we going to get anything resolved by we going back and forth tit for tat? You see what I'm saying? It's not going to. We're not going to get anything.
Somebody has the whole thing in the memory bank so that they can bring it back up later on, which is the worst thing you can do. If it bothers you now, talk about it now. But if you want to sit there and wait until you in an argument,
that's how I am, AJ.
So-and-so.
If it's bothering you, talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's get over because I don't want to hear it back 2 years from now that you still upset and it. Something. I'm walking. No, let's talk about it. Let's get it off our chest.
Remember when you did something? Huh? What the hell? I had somebody bring up a text that was 11 years old to me.
Oh,
yeah. A text that was 11 years old. I said, well, goddamn, I don't remember that. Nothing about that text 11 years ago. And why do you have a text from mine from 11 years ago?
Right.
Because you holding on to it for that moment. Now, you'd have let it fester and fester. You should have brought it up then.
Right.
It'd have been fresh in the brain.
But it's funny though, because I've dealt with that personally once again in my past, that something can happen and it could have happened in 2021.
Erica, he trying to cover for you. No, I'm playing with you, dear.
Right. Look, you see, I got quiet. I'm like, let me get quiet.
In my past, and your ears moving. Your ears moving up and down like Spock. What do you think?
Yeah. It happened in 2021, and but it's to me, it's like you said, they store it, but they want to have. I called it the one-up factor. You see what I'm saying? That one-up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hold on to this because the minute I'm gonna screw up, I'm gonna mess up. But when I do mess up, but do you remember? You know what I mean? But that happened 5 years ago.
You don't sit your ass down, little kid.
Yeah, right.
Tail down. We both had that with our kids, so I know that shit. Excuse my French. I'm sorry. Well, I know that stuff, boy. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing, But this is what happens, but there again, it goes back to people carrying their old. Like you said, everybody have baggage. I would agree 100%.
Yeah, life gives you baggage, but it depends on what baggage you want to drop off and get rid of or work on to get rid of, or what
Yeah, I
baggage
know
that
that's right.
you want
Earthquake.
you take
That's
out
a
of it
funk
and say,
bag.
hey, you know what, I'm gonna go through this bag. I learned something from here, so I'm gonna take them gems out, but then the rest I'm gonna drop it off. I still got the bag, but I took something positive out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
You
call
know
it
what
the
I'm saying?
earthquake
But if
effect.
you just holding on to the bags, baby, you
Mhm.
gotta let it go. Ain't that what Erica Badu said?
Yeah, Erica Badu and the earthquake effect. Everybody,
Right.
Erica don't have the earthquake effect, but me and Shaq, we got the earthquake effect.
Right. The
He
very
said
big
it
earthquake.
best.
Yeah.
He said it best.
Yeah,
He
man.
said it best, and it works
Man,
out though. That peace comes along with it, man. I'm strong believer in my peace, man. My peace
oh
is
yeah,
Me,
best.
Me
yes
too.
indeed. Yes,
me
yes.
too.
I'm
But you
trying to
know what?
I'm trying to get like you, AJ, have in so much peace.
Yeah, that's 6 Saturdays and 1 Sunday a week. Is
Yeah, that's what I want
that's
right there. What you
yeah.
say again?
It means
6
something. Six
Saturdays, one
Saturdays and a
Sunday.
Sunday a week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Now
trying to get
that's
like.
my week. That's my week, but it's proven to be. In the beginning, I was kind of. I ain't gonna lie to you, it was different. It was different. But now, I'm really finding myself to be in a place where it's very comfortable. Emotionally, not physically. Physically is what you make it. Emotionally, you have to work on it. You
Mm,
have to work on it. You have to be willing, and that's going to allow you to be in a better relationship with another individual. Because if you're not at that peaceful state, if that you're not in that willing to compromise, negotiate, and communicate stage, you'll never be able to be happy with another individual. You won't. You'll claim to be
Right,
happy with yourself. You'll claim to be happy with yourself, but with another individual, you'll never be happy
right.
because you
right,
haven't given up what it takes to be happy. You're just willing to say you have. You're just willing to say, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not good.
But
You ain't figured out what good is yet.
right, true.
right.
You have to
Don't
figure
be
out.
talking about me now.
No, mom,
We
No,
ain't
we talking
mom.
talking
about
We
about
ain't
we
gonna
you.
talking
say
about
nothing about you,
ourselves.
mom. But
Because
but
everybody's peace is different than from the next person is peace.
Oh,
It's just about you
absolutely.
finding your peace. Not somebody
Yeah.
else's or this and that or what looks like they're at peace that, is not really peace for you, but you just trying, no, find your inner
Find
peace.
your peace. Yeah, find your peace, man. Because it makes a relationship so much better, I think.
oh my God, it
It
does.
makes a relationship so much
It
better.
does.
You can see things happen, and when you see it happening, you realize either that person's going through something, or that person, needs some space, or whatever it is. It's something other than about me, making it about you, because you can make. We tend to do that in relationships. We make every issue about ourselves.
Boy, y'all can
We
tell
make it
y'all are
about
brothers.
ourselves.
We can tell y'all are brothers. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
It's true
but
though.
it's a
But
true
no,
fact.
Shaq told me, he tell me that all the time. I swear, I can tell y'all they're brothers.
Yeah,
He
I mean,
said, "Don't make it
and
about
it's a true
yourself."
fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we have to, in a sense, a lot of times, with like you said, people have to find what makes them click and tick. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, you could go through a certain point in life because I guess it's where a point where if you know how you be around someone so long and you're so in love and so caring and so, but you forget about what really makes you happy. You know what I mean? You kind of lose focus on what makes you happy because you're so focused on what makes them
Makes
happy,
them happy.
makes you happy, right? You see what I'm saying? So you
Hmm.
have to get to a point where you still have to have that separation of knowing, you know, exactly what makes you happy. At that moment, yeah, you saw someone, an individual, male or female, that made you, you were attracted to them. You guys, had great conversations, but and I think some things you get away from what started you to like or love that person or care for that person, and you start pulling away from that. So when you have to keep that spark going, you have to keep that going at all times. even it don't have to be every day, all day, but it have to be a point where you know how they used to say date night. You got to have a date night. Y'all used to date when you were dating. You'll go out to dinner, or you'll go to the movies, or you'll go bowling, whatever that thing. But you were happy. Now you done got so complacent. You cool. Oh, I got it now. I got him now. Well, guess what? I don't need to go.
What you did to get him, you got to do to keep him.
Right,
Say
exactly.
that again.
but then that's what I'm saying. But then you also have them individuals that now they're it's almost like that movie In Too Deep. Well, I feel like I'm in too deep now, so I can't just walk away. But it don't make me happy. But I'm in too deep now, so I just can't exactly walk
Hell as
away.
you say. Hell as you say. Hell as you say. Anybody can walk away. Shit.
No.
Don't
I'm
be
saying
too deep.
no. But we ain't talking about the strong-minded individual. We're not the ones that think with their people pour out their heart and love hard. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that means they don't want to give their love to, jump from love to love or love to love to love. They want to keep loving that person they with. They wishing for that person to change. Okay, you was there at one time. You were that person,
Okay.
but now you didn't change it to another person. But I know it's still in you, so I know you could become this person.
Don't get me. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm not talking about polygamy. I'm a firm believer that you can love multiple people. All right. You can love multiple people. That does not mean that you are going to be intimate with multiple people. Because like I love some of my exes, I love my ex. Wonderful people, just not wonderful people for me.
Right.
They're decent people, but they're just they're not in the same space. So that love is still there. It's not in love. I've been to, events with my exes and their currents. And I'm like,
Right.
hey, what's up?
I feel you. I
Hey,
feel you on
I
AJ.
I got the double fingers for you. Hey, I'm happy for you.
Right.
Because that's because I believe that you can love. Everybody loves differently.
Right.
People say, oh, well, you around your ex. I don't mean nothing to me because there ain't no fire there.
Right.
There was smoke back in the day and fire. Now there ain't no smoke. There ain't no fire. Hey, how you doing? I'm gonna wave and have a good time. Hell, I've been with my exes and their exes.
Oh, wow.
I've been to my ex-husband's house. Been to his house with his current.
Well, that comes with maturity too, though.
Maturity,
that comes
yeah.
with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That
there's
comes
a lot of
with-
maturity on that because
Yeah,
I'm like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what comes. It comes with maturity, and so it's nothing wrong with that because there again, if you have a significant other that understands it and know who you are as a man or who you are as a woman, a woman know who's a woman. All that is irrelevant because they know where their heart is. They know your heart is with me.
Yeah, if they're decent. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
they
know what I'm
their
saying?
heart is
So-
with you. That's right.
Right. So it doesn't matter if you speak or intertwine with that
Around.
individual. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you're around them because
Man,
it is what it is. But they
It
know
is what it is.
You know what I'm saying? They know, okay, well, this person I know loves me and care for me and whatever, so you don't have to, you're not insecure because you're very secure in your relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but you also
And
have
having,
those
and sometimes that helps them too be secure in their relationship, whether it be the ex or whoever, it helps them. I mean, I've been to an event, not even just me in my relationship. I went to an event with a friend of mine where his two ex-wives were there with the kids, and the kids' ex-spouses were there with their new spouses. And I'm like, well, damn, what the hell? I know that's what's
Right.
that's-
But
But what it
like
taught me was, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I know that. One of my good friends and stuff is like that. All her
Yeah.
exes and baby dads, they're cool. Like they
It
super
is what
cool.
it
They
is.
family. They're like, hey, I don't care what she do, long as my
You can
child happy.
essentially- They
Yeah.
are family. They are family. They are family. They are interlocked between children or exes or what have you, but they are family. They are part of a unit. Now, if you could sit there and engage in any kind of decent communication, it's a wonderful thing. I personally, I have that with one situation with me and two situations. And the reality for me is that it's fine. It don't bother me a bit. It don't matter. Look, what we had was what we had. What we, now we can move
It ain't there
apart.
no more.
And
So, we
yeah,
understood and we moved on, wishing each other the
yeah,
best.
sitting in the driveway talking to my ex's current was like, hey, yeah, man, and she love that car. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm happy for you. Hey, you want some more cake?
You're right. But you know what though, Street? This is funny because I'm gonna tell you a scenario that happened between my very wife right now. So when me and Erica got together and we started dating strong and serious, you know what I mean? And so at that point, I knew my ex, which you know who that is. Oh, I don't even want to say it's almost like Beetlejuice. But anyway,
And we ain't
you
gonna
know what I'm
say it, no,
saying?
not even
Man,
one
I ain't gonna
twice.
say it 2 more times, right? Yeah, you're right. So, but when I tried to be the mature one and say, okay, well, this is the woman that I'm going to be with. You got the individual you're going to be with. Hey, let's come together as mutually as co-parenting, and we all sit down and let my daughter see that we're not, beefing, or we can be all mature adults and still parenting, and because everybody's where they're gonna be at. Okay.
And you know why that's not possible though, bro? Because
Oh,
one
I
has
know why.
lied. Yeah, they've lied and they've demonized the other individual. And,
Right.
and and then the truth comes out. The truth will come out if you ever together in the same room. The truth will come out.
But you
You
know what?
sure will.
But we found that out because this is what was stated to me. Oh no, they didn't have no kids. Me and you had a kid. Wait a minute, but
See
but
that?
but but, but you finna be with another individual. I
Mm-hmm.
want you to know who's gonna be around your child. So what's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, that
Yeah.
it turned into a big ordeal. Oh, it was the craziest thing. And I'm like, wait a minute, like, come on now.
They can't justify the alienation after that.
No, right,
When
right.
they exposed, they can't justify what they did and what they said because they exposed them.
Right.
But see,
Exactly.
but the craziest thing about it, though, brother, that they got exposed in front, and they did their own exposing. Because at that point, we in a parking lot, and they're screaming to the top of their lungs, cursing and fussing and all
Because
that.
they had
One
already
individual
demonized you.
just
You
sat
were
there,
already demonized.
right?
You were
But hold
already
up here,
demonizing.
no, but then sat there, and the one that they were with didn't say 2 words. Let them do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's mind blowing. You know the situation,
They'll
baby.
show yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't just because somebody asks their food, they'll show themselves for how they
They'll
true
show
colors.
themselves eventually, but it doesn't make sense for a person to, when you're trying to be, now if I was sorry, didn't care, didn't do this, didn't do that, guess what? It wouldn't have been no problem. I probably would have got whatever I wanted at that point. But
But I mean,
because
it just comes back to boundaries. Like hey, you gotta put your boundaries away. Okay, you want to still act food, you get the boundaries. You get the say as I say, the wooden spoon with the long handle.
yeah, but
I can love you from across the street. That's what you get. I mean, but even though there was no love, but hey, how let you cross the street, whatever, however.
you got him in there.
Yeah, I keep getting booted.
Oh, yeah. So, so that means, I mean, but if you like, as strict, I mean, as AJ said, that the point of it is I'm already demonized. I get that, because this is the funny thing. But I could have easily demonized that person, that individual, at any given time. But to prove my point, and my wife could tell you right now, I say, you don't believe me? I put it on speaker. I say, now listen to this. she blah 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 blah. And Erica, because you know, every time they always says two sides of every story. But then when she heard it and what was stated was, what did she say, babe? Whatever I can do to hurt you, I will. Them the words came out of her mouth, and she saw it firsthand. So don't think that I'm trying to demonize. I don't have to demonize nothing. She's showing her colors right then and there.
Yeah.
Right, and they was some true colorful stuff. It was so bad of her colors. Her child colors was like that.
Yeah, it started going into her children, right? And that's crazy, you know. But this is the thing about, you know, we try to do the right thing as parents, but then nobody's on some parent can co-parent, they can raise their kids, they can do all this other stuff with no hesitation. That means you got two mature individuals. Well, okay, ain't no love on my end, ain't no love on your end. Hey, you know, granted, we ain't got to be hunky-dory and be best friends, but guess what? We could be cordial. But when you can't become cordial and you say, I don't love you, I don't do this, well, guess what? Show me that you don't love me, you don't care. We shouldn't be, what do we argue? I don't argue with the one I'm with now. What the hell I look like arguing with somebody I used to be with?
Hey, it took him a long time, and he got with me. I showed him love. They talked to your town. Look, you said no. What did you say? No. Oh, hang up the phone. Ooh, like no, you ain't gonna like disrespect. Yeah, no.
Our brother-in-law said that. He said, "Man, I'm sitting there arguing, and then I realized, man, I put up with this. Man, click.
Right. Exactly. What you arguing with them for? You know what I mean? Like, it don't make sense. But you know, we get caught up in the moment and in the situations, and you know, you want to prove your point, but at the same time, damn, you're getting booted off. But you keep getting, you know, you're going back and forth with the individual for what? You know, because honestly, I always tell my wife this all the time. When do it feel good by arguing and fussing and cussing? Be like, oh, you MF, oh, you this, you that. Oh, but I feel good after the fact. No, it's never be the point where you can feel good from an individual going back and forth, you know, with a person arguing and fussing and cussing. Because all it does is raise your blood pressure up, make it piss you off. So what's the reason for? I have been at work and told guys that end up being messed up and all this other stuff, and then they say something, and I told them, I said, bro, I don't argue with my wife. You think I'm finna sit here and argue with a grown man about somebody that has no relevance in my life? You think I'm sitting here and argue back and forth with you? No, sir.
Not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it. There it is. So, but you got some people, it's argumentative. They get combative at all given time. They got to argue. They got to prove their point. Because I was with an individual that was very combative, very argumentative. Just had to prove. It could be some. Why you get that kind of pop? Oh, I don't know. Because you shouldn't have got that kind of. I mean, what are we arguing about? Some damn pop or soda or water or a paper towel or a shoe on the floor. I mean, come on, man. It's like you're trying to find situations to argue about. There again, but that means within, as y'all stated earlier, they're not happy with themselves. You see what I'm saying? You can't be happy with yourself because you want to walk around and start an argument just because. Why? Why are you starting the argument just because? Like I said, I don't find joy in arguing or raising my voice of anything of that sort with anyone. You know what I mean? And again, and like I tell it, and I would tell anyone this. I don't argue with my wife. You think I'm finna argue with you for what? You know what I'm saying? But you also got people that will. I call them toxic. They just toxic people. You know, they love to argue. They love to, you know,
the right
way. my way is the only way. I tell a person, Strick, you know it, and then Erica know it, and people that's in that talk with me know I would never tell you how to think. I can't tell you how to think. The only way that I can tell you how to think, if or try to even bring up something about that, if I know you're going to harm yourself. But if you tell me, I feel like, I feel like slapping somebody in the face. Well, guess what? That's what you feel. I'm not saying it might not turn out well for you, but
It ain't gonna turn out well.
Huh?
No, it ain't gonna turn out well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It ain't gonna turn out well.
It ain't gonna turn out well.
So that means I can give you, you tell me what you feel, and I can tell you, I can give you my opinion. But I ain't gonna I ain't gonna try to change your mind. But again, I can tell you the consequences that might come with that. Just like I said, you said, I'm gonna go out here and just walk up to somebody and slap the hell out of them. Okay, well, guess what? It might not turn out well. You might go to jail, or you might get shot. Who knows? Hey, things can happen. But you have to be, if you don't want to hear the real, big bro the same way, my wife same way, guess what? If you don't want to hear the real, don't ask me. Don't ask my opinion. Don't truly, because I'm gonna
Yeah, and look, I don't sugarcoat.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So
look, mom don't sugarcoat either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you're looking for somebody to pacify you, I'm the wrong individual to talk to. Period.
And don't do it in front of me, because I ain't gonna lie.
right. You know what I'm saying? So
look, ain't gonna lie.
I ain't gonna lie for you. I ain't gonna lie for you. And do it.
Because I'm gonna tell who did it and what. So don't do it
I
around
tell
me.
officers all the time, man. I said, look here, man. If you don't want me to say nothing, don't do it in front of me.
Right.
If you don't want me to say nothing, don't do it in front of me. Because I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna tell. There ain't no thin blue line. Oh, that's some bull. No.
I do the same. Look, AJ, I do the same thing at work. I be looking at them like, I'm gonna tell, and I say right in front of it, yeah, they did it, and this and that, and then they look at me, and I'll be like, well, and I was right over here while I listen to you tell me that, and yeah, I'm that person.
I'm gonna tell, and the fight go with it. I don't care.
Look,
what you gonna
I
say?
ain't even gotta go hide and do it behind your back. I'm gonna tell you right in your face.
I'm sure gonna tell. I'm gonna tell. I'm scared. I'm scared of jail. I'm scared of a lot of different things. I'm scared of my own conscience. So guess what? I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna tell.
Me too.
I'm gonna be a tattletale, as they call it, huh?
I'm gonna be a tattletale.
You know,
I tell kids that.
snitches get stitches.
I don't care.
AJ, Lord May said the same thing.
Yeah, I got a bunch of stitches. Shoot, I don't care.
They
I got
heal,
stitches all over my body. They heal.
Hey,
and you free.
Hey, I know Erica told me this. Erica told me a long time ago, and it was so funny. She told somebody, she say, "Don't do a crime in front of me, because I'm telling." She say, "I'm telling you."
I'm telling you.
I'm saying you right here, right there. He lived right there, and that's it. This that he had on XYZ. I might even forget what you had on, but I know where you stand right there. I'm gonna bring him right to your door. There. I'm gonna like, let me knock your door. Look, hold on, let me knock on the door for you.
Because so don't worse than the crime.
Right.
Worse than the crime. It's always been worse than the crime.
Yeah, I'm telling.
People ask me, have you ever told on somebody when you was a police officer? I said, I sure did. Sure did. I sure did. And I had no problem with it. And I tell anybody else, man, look here, bro. You know where I'm at.
You know,
if you got any problem with it.
I was gonna say, I got a niece and a nephew. One works for the sheriff department, and one works for the what is it, Erica? The
FBI.
Yeah, the FBI.
You ain't supposed to be telling all the business.
I ain't say no names.
It's all right, as long as you don't put no names. Don't put no names out there. You good. But I don't care. I don't care. I tell it on the heartbeat. In a heartbeat, I don't care. If you do it in front of me, that meant you wanted me to tell. You wanted me to tell. Because I'm like this. I got in the law enforcement because of a dirty cop. And, well, not totally because of a dirty cop, but it pushed me a little bit. I always knew I wanted to be a cop, but I got into it because of a dirty cop really bad. And I said, okay, well, I'll just be better than him. That's all. And that was it. it,
Right.
but I'm gonna tell.
You
Yeah, I'm
tell
gonna
like
tell.
I'm holler if it do whatever. Don't do it in front of
Yeah,
me.
don't do it in front of me. If that's it, and if that's if you want to know how to survive it with me around, well, don't do it. There you go.
Right.
Don't do it. But
I'm
anyway,
turning you in.
but
And don't let there
anyway.
be a reward. Because I might be the first one to be at the doorstep. How about he right here, right there. At 123 Street, right there.
You got somebody in Texas that does that all the time. This dude named Quanell X, he do that all the time. He turn people in and get the reward.
All right.
Come on, and convince them. Look here, if I turn you in, at least they won't kill you. It's like, wow, get that reward, girl. I ain't mad at you.
All right. Hey,
Mhm.
hey, just being honest. Hey, I ain't got time to go to nobody's jail, interrupting my life, my peace, my whatever. I ain't doing it.
Oh, mm-mm.
I ain't gonna survive.
Nope,
Hey,
I'm
folks,
not.
if you
I'm not gonna survive.
guys want you got some questions, man, please come in and answer. Put them in the chat, whatever. Because man, look, hey, look, we wind up, we ready to go. Goddamn, come on with it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, but yeah, man, like I said, but I must say this though, for where I am now in my relationship, in my marriage, I told I told my ex, I said, well, I appreciate it. She said, appreciate it. I said, tell me what I don't want no more. You know what I mean? And that summer gun she didn't find that too funny at all. She was I was everything I was everything under the sun at that point.
Well,
Sorry.
don't feel bad. I was the same.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just
Hey,
like,
don't come to me if you want the truth, because I'm just gonna tell
That's
it.
it.
but that's why I
Like we
said,
done over with. I ain't gonna hide it, whatever. Yeah, okay, whatever. However you feel. Well, yeah, you're right. But thank you.
and granted, I haven't talked to her in what 12 years, 13, 10 years, past 10 years. You know what I'm
You
saying?
feel
Yeah.
bad for it?
The cheat.
Fuck no.
I'm kid.
The devil is a lie.
The devil, and I look, boy, I keep demons out of my life, bro. Trust me.
Man, I seen mine for the first time in 15 years, and I about had I'm sick to my stomach.
Yeah,
Mm.
man.
I was like, damn. Even on YouTube, I ain't see it in real life. Just on YouTube, I had to cut the channel.
Camera.
Hey,
Oh,
I did it. I obviously did like, what the hell? Was I blind? Was I drunk? What was I thinking over there?
mm,
Boy, I must not have strong enough glasses.
But we all have been blinded by what we thought was love. You know what I mean? We probably love, but at the same time, the person wasn't reciprocating what you was giving out. You see what I'm saying? So
right.
so
Right.
they're not reciprocating what you're giving. But at that point, you're like, well, but I do love them. Well, it can work out. When I put it like this, when you go to counseling and the counselor basically telling you you're doing, boy, you doing bad, bro. I'm serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's pretty bad. Like, well, no, it ain't workable. Y'all just need to go on, just separate on. But
Just move on.
and even then that was said to me, I'm still trying to work through it. Okay, well, maybe he don't. He might not know. He don't know.
We do
what
that for the
he's going
kids, though. We do that for our kids, for our offspring. We do that, not realizing that's not helping them any. That's what I mean. I stayed with somebody even afterwards. It was divorced and it was like, look, court orders, stay away from each other. But I did it anyway because I was trying to do it for him. And the reality is that doesn't that
Bruh,
doesn't pay off.
I'm gonna tell you something. This very woman that's on this panel right now told me verbatim. She said, baby, I understand you want to be there for your child, but you could be with your child and be away from the home. You don't have to be in the household. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not happy, how could you help that child? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're actually hurting.
I just always had learned that, at a young age that, my dad always, well, I shouldn't use him as a prime example, but what I took out of his negativity, I took out the positive that he had peace when it was just him or whoever he liked it, you know what I'm saying? And I found peace with that. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's like, okay, it don't matter what's going on. You got to find your peace. If you can't make yourself at peace and happy, you can't make your kids peace and happy. No matter how hard you try, if you're not happy as an individual, you can't make somebody else happy. You have to make yourself happy first.
And I think I've heard that many times before. Oh, I stayed for the child. You know what I mean? I get that. You know what I mean? You try because see, so what my situation was, and I'm not making excuses, but it's the same time. This is what I felt. My first daughter, when I had my child, it was like, okay, I enjoy being with her, but it was like limited. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, every other weekend and all that stuff. But I know I wanted to be the best father I can be. You know what I mean? And this man can vouch for it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing of it is after I got, I said, okay, well, I had a kid and I had a kid while I was married. And so now I want to be in this relationship and I want to be around my child. You know what I'm saying? So, I was willing. I wouldn't tell anybody to do what I done, but I felt like I wanted to be in my child life because I wanted to be that protector at all times. I wanted to be in that household with that child all the time. I want to watch them grow from a toddler to a baby to a toddler to a teenager to a grown individual. I just wanted to be in their lives because I wanted to be that perfect father. But I when you start thinking about it and after all that situation that I stayed there and took the abuse and then thinking like, okay, at one point, I will be called different type of names and I'm like, and I've always been, because you also have a individual that's an initiator and you have one that's a diffuser. Well, I found myself always being a diffuser. And when I became this diffuser, well, guess what? You could fill a water, you could put a glass of water right there, but eventually when you fill it all the way up, it overfills. So now I blew up. So now I'm like, okay, things I wouldn't say, oh, you ain't nothing but a sorry so-and-so. And I'm like, well, you know what? You ain't nothing but a blue. And then, even though that it was, I reacted to someone saying something to me and degrading, but then even though that I said that and I stated that because I'm trying to protect myself in my I feel like I had to protect my manhood. I had to protect who I stand for as a man and as a father. But in reality, I still feel bad when I went into protection mode. Like, oh, you're this. And I said, well, you're this. But then later on, I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have said that. Damn, why did I say that? Man, I shouldn't have said that. That was pretty messed up. I said, this supposed to be my wife. This supposed to be, how am I representing myself as a father and all this stuff? So now I start questioning who I was as an individual. But now as really time went on, and now I come and run into a person that would give me the real, meaning my wife right now, and say, you know what? I used to tell her, I'm so tired of this. She said, no, you ain't tired yet. You ain't tired yet. You'll know when you're tired. She said, because you ain't going to think twice about it and you're going to walk away. Oh, no, I'm tired right now. No, you ain't tired yet. No, wait. You know when you're tired. Sure enough, man, I'm talking about time went on, and guess what? I got tired and I left. Man, I took the clothes. I took my clothes, and that's all I left with. I left everything. And she was like, and then she always told me, she said, even though you're a friend, and we, at that point, me and my marriage, we were done. You know what I'm saying? And when she said it as a friend, at the time, she was like, you just got to know, as she stated, you got to know your happiness. You got to know, your boundary. You got to know that enough is enough. because she sat there and majority of the time let me vent, let me talk, let me hear me out and everything. And when she heard me out, you know, she waited, she heard me out, and then she gave her, you know, she spoke about the way she feel, you know, like, hey,
I
well,
was
this,
I was a real friend because your real friend gonna tell you the truth. You know you don't want to hear it, and I ain't the one to sugarcoat it. I tell.
you know what I'm saying? But because I went through all that, you know how they say you go through a storm in your life. But guess what? They all, you know, they say it's a silver lining, or you know, it's life after the storm. Well, now the storm is over, and I'm living in a silver lining. You know what I mean? And I recognize that. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, on and on and on. It's 18 years later. But again, when we were together, we were friends prior. We talked hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And she would speak the real to me and tell me how, you know, what way I feel and how I feel and all this other stuff. So and let me vent. But you know, I think, you know, we should have, if you have somebody that you can confide in, someone that you value their opinion, and you're going through something, listen to that person. Understand that that person is doing it from their heart, not to be malicious. And when you find, you know, you can tell when a person's trying to be malicious, because I could easily tell somebody that, just like, I'm just saying, like, AJ come to me and tell me he'd told me back in the day, you know what, Shaq, man, I'm finna walk in here and I'm finna slap the fire at this woman's mouth because she said, how dare she say that to me? I'm gonna tell Strick, I'm gonna tell AJ, oh no, bro. I said, I'm not even, you know what? I would never let you, I would never sit, but I'm the type of individual, if I
Wait, I lost it. What did you say? You said what happened?
I said, it's just like you come to tell me, you know, back in the day, and you say, hey, Shaq, you know what, man, this woman said this to me, and I'm just gonna walk in, I'm gonna slap the fire out her mouth. I'm just gonna go in there, punch her in her face. You know what I mean? You know, immediately I'm like, nah, bro. Nah, man, what is you thinking, bro? But if I was that toxic individual, didn't care about your well-being, and not saying you wasn't strong-minded enough not to do it, but for you to say, have that thought, who's to say that one vulnerable moment in your life, you say, I say, you know what, Strick, man, you should go slap her, man. Matter of fact, why don't you kick her too? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you, yeah, man, go take the broomstick and slap her across her head. You know, where would I be as a brother, as a friend to you, to even tell you so? And I'm just using you as an example, AJ, but I'm just giving you examples that people have done things maliciously because they catch people at their vulnerable time in their life. And when they do these type of things, they give bad advice because they're going through, they're in a bad place in their life. They're in a dark spot in their life. So I'm going to see other people hurt because of my pain. You know what I mean? So if I can get an individual, but then the funny thing about some things that I've seen is you would tell somebody to do something that you wouldn't even think about doing. You know, why would you do that? Why would you tell a person something that you wouldn't even do? Hey, you know, you know, I tell like D, hey, D, go rob that bank, man, over there. Man, you know what? I should go rob that bank. Be like, man, do you know that D went out there and robbed that bank? But knowing I ain't finna do that. I've seen, so and that's like, not everybody can give a relationship advice either. I mean, not saying that people gonna listen to you anyway at some point, but because I done told people many things and they done done the opposite of what I say. Or I gave my opinion about it. I would say not what I say, but what I've given my opinion about. You know, you value my opinion. You come to me, you ask me something, but you go to do the same thing that you already had before you came to me. You're gonna do it anyway. So I mean, I'm not saying it's a waste of time or waste of your effort or whatever, because I mean, guess what? I don't have no problem with it. But at the same time, you also have individuals that go out there and basically do as they want and don't care about I don't care what nobody think. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna do this if I want to. Well, guess what? That's not always a good thing. And like you said, it goes back to what we say. It might not turn out well. You know what I mean? But I just, like I said, the brother we got on here right now, we've had a long, strong brotherhood. And I don't say friendship, I say brotherhood. And this brother has, like I said, we talked about it before, and I have to say it once again, has given me a lot of wisdom. And like I said, he made me feel difference about law enforcement, because like he stated to you guys earlier, when he said, if you do something in front of me, I'm gonna tell you, you know.
Mhm.
But it's the thing of it is because he
Tell
lived,
it all.
he believed in that badge. You know what I mean? Not every individual that get into something. Some people, because I've heard people say they were bullied in school and they became a police officer and they run into somebody that bullied them and then try to use their power. I mean, it's not right, but they do it. I mean, or even I would say a position of power in any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they might make life decisions on say, should I pull the plug or shouldn't I pull the plug? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So
Abuse is abuse of authority. That's what I
yeah,
always say
well,
when
of course,
people abuse their authority.
authority, but I don't know, man. It's just you know, that's where you know your circle becomes smaller. You know what I mean? I know my circle have grown real small over the years.
Man, my circle can't even make a circle.
Damn, Pope, baby.
My circle can't even make a circle.
I'm
It's
with
funny.
you,
I have
Erica.
a number of associates, but none have ever met each other. Um, I mean, I have people from my younger
Yeah, now
years.
I have some good friends though. I do. The ones I
Yeah,
do, but
and
they
this
all
is
never met each other and they all in different
yeah,
states.
and that's exactly how it is. In different states, different, and we, because I'm pretty much a to myself at home individual. Typically we communicate on the phone. Very few of them, man. I could say of my friends, man, maybe 3 of them been to my house.
Mm.
2 of
Well,
them have
period.
spent the night in my house.
All my friends.
Uh,
How many been to the house?
uh,
One. That's about it.
Yeah, about one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
two.
got well. I mean,
No,
I
one.
got one. You not included, Shaq.
I already
One,
know, bro.
one, one
Look,
friend. There's 2 people
you're
I
in the
consider
Power
family.
body.
So yeah, there's one friend. 2 people I
And
consider family. So I
impossible.
don't really.
You over here playing spades, AJ.
Mm,
Look, one in the possible. You right?
and
You over here
impossible,
playing
yeah, playing
spades and stuff.
spades.
But
Playing spades. Right now, no.
hey, drop
You
hey,
know,
drop
and
the
and
link
and
again,
some that I
baby.
haven't seen, man. I got a friend that I haven't seen. I have not seen this dude in 40 plus years,
Wow.
at least 42 years. But we speak to each other at least once every couple of days, every week, or something like that. We speak to each other until I have to really just say, all right, man, all right now, nigga, I don't talk that much. But but I mean, but you know, I mean, and hell, he even named his son after me.
Wow.
I ain't never met his son. His son damn near 40.
Oh wow.
You know, yeah. But I mean, you know, everybody, your circle is your circle, man.
Yeah, man.
It's how you roll. You know.
But you know, I think man, I found out that some people feel like they gotta have, you know, certain type of people around, which I get to. No, I really don't get it. But in a sense that, you know, they want to have, I want a friend, I want a circle of millionaires. I mean, or I want a circle of, I'm just saying, a bunch of cops, or I want to set a bunch of lawyers, or whatever the case may be. But you know, I mean, do you have to be in your circle to have those type of individuals in your life? You know what I mean? Because you know
All
we.
actuality, I don't even like Doesn't stop cops that much, but go ahead.
Right, right. But I'm just,
I
but
don't
I'm
got a
just
bunch of
saying.
cop friends. It's really funny. I don't.
Yeah, I'm just speaking in general. I mean, you know, like,
That's cause you a snitch.
oh no.
I'm just
I'm
playing. I'm
snitch.
teasing you.
That's okay. That's not a dirty word to me, though. That's not a dirty word to me. I don't care what nobody say.
Hey,
That ain't no
Just
dirty
tease.
word. Shoot,
She
I'm
said, I
I
just
know
know
you
y'all,
teasing
but
you.
I don't care.
Look,
It don't bother me.
AJ.
Shoot.
Lord May still saying the same thing she's saying. She just said that today.
Yep.
the stitches
I
to get it
keep.
was
Hey,
stitches to
I
get
keep
stitches.
that.
Yeah, but like I said, man, you know, it's but you know, but I'm just gonna say, just stemming back to the main topic of what we were speaking about, and it gets this, and I just something just came across my mind is because I glanced at it, and you know, we could even say standards, but you know, like we say, I don't know, AJ, was you on here when we was talking about how people lower their standards when it comes to relationships at times? Yeah, I think you were on at that time. But sometimes, you know, I mean, certain things, and let's even just say standards and boundaries with friendship in general. You know, just like we talk, me and AJ talking about different things as far as before when we knew each other when we was in our 20s. You know, we just, you know, whatever. And I think we never had issues because we respected each other as boundaries, you know what I'm saying? Or as far as, I mean, and I guess, you know, when he set a standard of, because I know I'm not going to walk around here and just like you said, he was in law enforcement, we were cool. But I wouldn't, even if I never thought about it, and that wasn't the type of person I was. But at the same time, how would I look like saying, hey, man, I'm going to go out here and, you know what I'm saying, I'm in front of his crib and I'm going to sell drugs. Oh, but that's my partner. No, I still respect him. But funny story, funny story. Since because I know why he was laughing. So we were out. I don't know if I told you this, baby, about the time that me and me and AJ was sitting out there chilling, and we were sitting in front of his crib, whatever. And this guy pulled up in a vehicle. Now, mind you, we're gonna say the driveways in these apartments were horrible. I'm talking about ditches, no bumps, but we talking about ditches. And the guy pulled up, not knowing who he is, whatever, and said, "Hey, man, what did he ask? Do we know where we can get some drugs or some dope or something of that fact?" And he said, "Yeah, I know we can get it." And he had his badge and he pulled his badge out and put it in front of him. That dude, literally, I know that car was a piece of car after he got that part. That son of a gun spent out and that's all you can hear. Boy, that was hilarious. Oh my God. We sat.
I wasn't going to chase him.
It was so fun. It was like I think we laughed about that for a couple of days because that was so funny. And it goes back to the fact you don't know who is who, but you're just gonna walk up to a random person and ask them where some drugs. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
That blew me, but that was so fun. That was so funny. But yeah, but you just I don't know, man. I just like I said, I think when it comes to people in general, you know, and it goes. I think to me, in my opinion, is when you got to know what you want and what you desire. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we could say have some realistic expectations, but who for us to say what's realistic and what's not? You know what I'm saying? Because at this point in life, I think anything is possible. But then in the same sense, I think it's about what you're willing to take as well, because you probably can get somebody that has plenty of money, but are they going to treat you with respect? You know, or you
Mm.
can find this person that has this bomb body. As if you're a male and she got this bomb body, but when you get sick, will she be willing to take care of you? You know,
Sure won't.
you know what I'm saying? And that goes both ways for men and women, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you know, so are you willing to, so at some point, you think you're winning by you think you're upping your standards, but in reality, you're really on the losing end of the stick. Because
Mhm.
if you find somebody that give you one thing, but then you take everything else away from you, are you really upping your standards at that point? It's like you're lowering your standards to a point because now you're willing to accept anything. You're willing to
Mm.
accept less because you probably had more when you was by yourself versus having less when you as you with that person. Because honestly, at that point, if you say, I'm gonna be at home, I'm staying home, I'm not gonna work, whatever. Now you gave that person not only that you gave them that control. So that means they're controlling your every move because what I gotta do to you, hey Erica, baby, can you give me $10,000 because I need to go do this? Yeah, you give it to me, but on the sense say, instead of you handing me 10 grand, you just throw it on the ground and say, pick it up. But because I want it, I'm gonna pick it up. You're gonna treat me like a
I'm about
dog.
to say, I'm about to say, hey, woof, 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 woof.
Yeah, but
Oh Lord.
I'm playing.
yeah, I know what you mean, but you know, but you get my but people get my point, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's where, you know, but you know, we start talking about standards, and you know, when you saying dating, you know, you, I mean, I remember back in the day, and I think it's probably even worse now. You know, if you had a certain type of vehicle, you know, you can get the prettiest looking girl, or if a girl had a certain type of body, she can get any type of man she wants. She figures she can anyway. But but in reality, when it comes to what you desire, but again, what comes with that? Because honestly, certain things come with that when you know you depend on one person when you're not working together and it's only one. Now, granted, if I was in a situation which my wife was in a situation, my wife got hurt. She could tell you, and I'm not just saying this to be saying it to make myself look good, but she could tell you when she was hurt, I never denied her anything of any access to anything that I had. Nothing. Money, wallet, car, whatever. She was able to have access to everything because of who she was.
Yeah, wasn't she supposed to though?
Huh?
You said,
No,
I mean, but what wasn't she?
this was prior to marriage now. This was prior to
Oh,
marriage.
prior to marriage. Oh, that make you
Yeah.
special, Erica.
Yeah,
Oh,
this was prior to
I
That
marriage.
am
make you. That
special.
make. Yeah, that make
No,
you
but
special,
this
girl.
was prior to marriage. So at that point
Shit.
in my
Yeah,
life,
matter of fact, it was early in our relationship at that.
early in our relationship, very early. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm. You driving the
said,
bus.
but
Yeah.
I had set it up. Well, I mean,
I
I had
pay
got to the
attention.
point where I
No,
knew,
you did it.
I knew that this woman is the one I wanted to be with. She
Yeah, I
had
knew too.
shown me everything I needed to see to who that I know at one point, you know what I mean, I wanted to further my life with this woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
You know what?
again,
I knew it too though. When that happened, I knew that she was the one then. I knew she was the one for you then.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Back
Well,
then
why
I knew.
everybody else
Yeah.
knew, but I didn't know. I'm still over there
Yeah,
like that's
you
a
slow
husband.
though.
I mean, that's
You
a
slow.
boyfriend. What I say, boyfriend. It took a long time before
Yeah,
I
you
even
was
say he was
slow.
my boyfriend.
Yeah,
I knew he
yeah.
wasn't going nowhere.
Oh,
I knew he wasn't going nowhere. I knew when we
nah,
was in the parking lot of an apartment complex talking when y'all stayed in the apartment complex and we and him was talking and I was like, yeah, he ain't going nowhere. He's stuck.
Yeah,
Y'all was
man.
living off it was one of them northern areas of apartment complex. I was like, yeah, he's stuck.
Yeah, you
That's the
remember
one
when
right there.
that's when she was in Cyprus. Yeah, that's when she was out.
Okay,
Yeah, in
yeah.
Cyprus. Yeah, exactly. He was in Cyprus. Exactly.
Yeah,
Where I
right.
got
Exactly.
lost.
Yeah. Look, yeah. Mom got lost over there trying to explore. Yeah, she
Oh, you
got
was
Be
trying to
lost.
over there
explore.
being Dora Explorer.
Yeah, she wanted to be Dora the
Explore,
Explorer. Yeah,
explore.
yeah, but but that's what I'm saying. But I mean, it is it's. I'm not saying it's not possible, and I'm not saying that it's not out there, but it's it might be rare to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Because I guess at that point, you got to know what you want, what you desire, because we could desire a lot of god doggone things, but don't necessarily mean we're gonna get it all. But
And it
there
don't mean
again,
that's what we need.
right, exactly. So
That's a little gremlin.
huh? Oh, she talking to Gizzy, but then that's what I'm saying. But you have to know what is it that you want, but then show. They always say, well, it's a show me state, or it's a show me. I could tell you all day I love you, but I'm treating you like crap every day. You know what I mean? I could tell you that all day. Some things, words can be powerful, but words can also be, can tear you down as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
And
but
actions speak louder than words.
actions definitely speak louder than words. But like I said, I mean,
I'm action.
no action, you know what I'm saying? But again, we have to know where we stand, and like I said, it goes back to
I use grease too.
what you guys said all at the very beginning. You gotta love yourself, you gotta work on self. But then a lot of times people don't feel like they need to work on self at all. They don't
Yeah, because they
think
think
that
they already the I am who I am syndrome. I am who I
yeah,
am
right.
syndrome.
And some people
This is
feel
me.
also, don't think they now you done been through 3 or 4 or 5 relationships, and I'm just not saying you, but I'm just talking in general, that you've been through 4, 5, 6 relationships within the last 5 years, but ain't nothing wrong with you though.
No, ain't nothing wrong with you.
Ain't nothing wrong with me.
In the Philippines, they say ita ako. This is who I am. This is me. Ita ako. And this is me does not mean it doesn't make you the right me. It doesn't make you a good me. It just makes you.
Yeah, dude, you are right.
Ita ako.
But then
and it's not good though. It's like
You should always want to grow.
there you go.
But you know what? This is the thing when it comes to that situation. People say, "I ain't gonna change. This is who I am." But but what worked for everyone else might not work for the individual you're with. So that means if you say,
So if you're looking for a relationship, you got to kind of,
they're going to have to be some kind of change. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Now, and sometimes you can change for the best. So what I'm saying is that a person say, "Oh, well, this is who I am, and I'm not changing for nobody." But every relationship I've been in didn't care about me going hang out and coming in 3 and 4 in the morning. Well, respectfully, that ain't respectful. I mean, in reality, that's not respectful.
It's not.
But in the same sense, that might have been your first or 4 or 5 relationship. But guess what? That's why you.
My mom always told me you be out after dark. Ain't nothing but legs.
Ain't nothing open but legs, woman.
Or whatever, however it was said. I just know I wasn't out at dark.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. But in the same sense, but like I said, but you might the 4 to 5 relationships you were in, you saying, "Oh, well, they didn't care about me going out." Well, guess what? That's why they're your ex. Because apparently you thought it didn't matter, but then apparently it did.
That was a game changer right there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Really, that's why you got 4 or 5 exes. You see what I'm saying? So you saying, but it wasn't a problem. But
you broke it,
huh?
Sorry.
No, but I'm saying, so that means again, in order for your relationship to be, but that you might get to the 6th, and then you say, "Hey, by the way, Erica, you know what? I like to go out every day, 7 days a week, and I come in 2 or 3 in the morning, but I give you a little time." Erica gonna say, "Well, hell no, well, I ain't the one for you." You know what I'm saying? Well, now you keep looking. So now what I'm saying? So to make my point about this is I just feel that because of people saying they're not going to change, everything ain't going to be the same in every relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, if you'd have been in 4 or 5 relationships, you know what I'm saying, and I'm pretty sure that maybe all those situations was the same because it's something that you said that they were okay with, but they really wasn't because they wouldn't be your exes. That means you should have been with the first one instead of 4 more later after that.
Wouldn't have been no 2. Wouldn't have been no number 2. Wouldn't have been no number 2 or 3.
No, right, exactly. It would have never been. Yeah, you wouldn't have went past that 1. But again, you know, and that's why it goes back to what type of standards do you set? You know, I mean, what kind of boundaries do you set? Because I guess what everybody have to have a boundary when you're especially when you're dating. You know, it's what things are acceptable and what is not acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said, Erica made it known, you know, hey, baby, that's your child. I'm with you. We're together. You spend time with your child. She wasn't one of the women, oh, you got to get it this weekend? Dang, we had some planned. You know, she's never was one of them. She said, when it's your weekend with your child, it's our weekend. Focus that time on her. When it's our weekend, okay, we do what we do. But when it's her time, we going to focus things around her. So not very many women, some women would do it, some women wouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
Some think like they do it.
Say what now? Huh?
I'm gonna think like they do it.
Oh, they'll warm you up real good. You know what I'm saying? They'll warm you up real good to the point where, you remember on Friday when she say, tell my Craig, I love your mama. You know what I'm saying? In reality, you know, you don't like it, you don't care for it. You see what I'm saying? So, but in reality, that's what, you know, but if you put on, but it's going to reveal itself eventually. You see what I'm saying? Because when it really come down to it, you would know who for you and who not. But again, in my eye, in your eye, probably, and probably most men, that would be a deal breaker. You know, my wife never told my daughter, hey, I'm your stepmom. She said, no, I'm never try to replace your mom. You know what I'm saying? I'm with your father. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be that backbone or that mother, you know, to give you the mother instinct, not saying being your mom, but give you that womanly thing that you need when you're with your dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm with your dad. I love your dad. You know, she made it known, I love your father. You know what I'm saying? But never tried to, as they call it, boundary, never try to overstep that boundary, say, I'm your mom, I'm your this, I'm your that. So it comes with a lot. And then especially when you talk about dating and standards, well, guess what? It's a lot of things that come into play when children are involved. I didn't just pop up, meet Erica, and she met Bethany. No, what we did, we kicked it, we chilled, whatever. When I knew we were there, then I introduced her to my daughter. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no right off the rip. You see what I'm saying? Because why would I keep subjecting my child to different individuals, different women? Oh, you say, I see daddy with this woman. Oh, I see daddy with this woman. I see daddy with that woman. But in reality, why would I continue to put that in when I know those are not?
I was the same way, though. I didn't want to meet his child until I knew we were serious and all that. I didn't want to.
You know what I'm saying? But some people feel comfortable. And this is my baby. First date. Wait a minute. Hold on. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. What are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? So and again, it goes back to what I said about me setting myself as a father. How would I look as a father to put different type of individuals that's not okay? It's already a bitter moment that I'm not with your mother, okay? But then I'm gonna put multiple individuals around my child if that wouldn't be confusing, what would be? That would be totally confusing. I'm hugged up with this woman one week. The next week, I'm hugged up with another woman. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel that, you know, and I'm not saying that everybody teach their own, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to set some kind of boundary, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, if you dating a person until you know that person gonna be with you, why do they don't need to meet your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Realize the
They know.
repercussions of your actions, because
To
everybody
be
don't. There's
honest
gonna be some
with you,
things that
go ahead, man. We say AJ.
realize the repercussions of those actions. I mean, no one's perfect, but you got to recognize by doing those types of things, there will be some repercussions. There will be some kickback from having your kids around this person, that person, and the third.
Yeah,
They're gonna see it. They're gonna look at you differently. I don't want to say I've done that, but my kids have been around. They were around different people, but they were all people that I had relationships with.
Ooh, Lord,
Um,
you sound like you my daddy's son over here.
well,
I
I
grew up
mean,
with okay, you know, the Ludacris I got hoes, the different area codes, that was my dad. They were all just his
no,
friends.
no,
But
no.
I knew the
I'm talking
difference when
about
I got older. But you
the
know, and it was just like for me, that was a lot. I would never want to put a child through that. And
yeah.
granted,
I
my dad
mean,
never made sure I was ever hurt or nothing like that. No,
no,
it was
no,
just
no, no.
the thing over this. I
Emotional
just
burden.
seen because I would ask like, "Hey, where's so and so?" Oh, we just left her at home, and I ain't see her no more. So I already know. Okay, they broke up. You know, he with somebody else. And then we go over go to a different state. He got a whole nother person. I'm like, well, there, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I never wanted to, say as a child, I never want to
I
put
wouldn't
another
say it
child
was
through
that
that.
severe. It wasn't
Yeah,
that severe, but I mean,
well,
I was involved in
hey,
relationships with other
Ludacris
people, and
made
they
that
were
song for my dad.
around.
That was my dad's song.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all his
And,
friends. If you ask him, they were just friends. That's it, and everybody was
yeah, I
nice,
mean,
but it was just for me as a grown took it as a grown adult now that I look back like, no, I never want to put a child through that or see that. So for me, if
you
I
doing?
ever dated a guy with kids, that was my number one thing. I don't want to meet your kid or kids until you know what I'm saying. I know it's we for real.
yeah.
We gonna be the long haul. But
Yeah.
even the long hauls.
But you know, and like I said, that's the thing. But now, granted, at that time, I was a lot older. I was, I matured a little bit more, whatever. I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have probably done it if if I had started doing that stuff in my younger years. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm
Mhm.
not saying
You're
I would.
right, Ivanka. It does teach the child that you also respect them. That's how I saw it too, because the ones that my dad did that I did like, and to this day I'm still close with them, and because it's kind of like the same thing. They weren't with my dad until I guess they felt like it was the real.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it makes a big difference, man. But
Or if
Yeah.
they weren't, even if they weren't, and I don't know how their relationships were and stuff, but
Mhm.
they were around enough to care about me at all times. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I lived with my dad as a single parent from the time I was 13 till I left the house. And I can say my dad, when I lived with my dad, he never brought anybody home. Whatever transpired outside of our little bitty apartment. Our apartment wasn't no bigger than half of the studio apartment that they have nowadays. Um, Injured. Now, I never knew if he was doing anything he was doing. He wasn't doing it at home.
All
Um,
right,
and when I was a single parent, I kept that same mantra myself.
right,
Ain't nobody. I ain't bring nobody home. None of that. There wasn't no women running in and out of my house. Now, if I did go visit somebody, I went. Now my kids came with me. It was
right.
just that simple. But it is important to keep some kind of respect for yourself and for your kids because
Right.
they see
They
they
see a
see
lot
what
that
you
you
do. They
don't
see
see.
a lot,
You just
you
have to
know.
remember when you were a kid too, what you saw that,
Yeah. And what mattered to you, because there are things that you think that won't matter, or but it matters. It matters.
Hmm.
It matters. It's something that they don't forget.
Not at all.
You know, and if you think they forget it, I can just tell you they don't.
And it's funny
They
thing you said
don't.
that too. And see, this is the thing. Another thing about it is, what are you got to be careful what you expose your children to as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because sometimes you can expose them to a little bit too god doggone much. Like I can
Yeah.
understand that, like we was talking about last time. What is the age that you start talking about, say, sex with your child or whatever? Like you say, you talking to your niece, whatever. It's so. I mean, it's
Granddaughter.
just different things, but exposure, what I mean, but you don't expose, but this is how you do it. You know what I'm saying? You have that conversation, you talk to them, you know what I mean, and have that conversation or whatever. But I don't think that, certain kids shouldn't be exposed to a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-mm. No,
you
you're
know,
right.
but again, kids are exposed to a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? Some things that they shouldn't be exposed to, but I mean, it's not my judgment of how people parent the way they want to parent. You know what I'm saying? There's no right or wrong because at the end of the day, I'm not paying your bills. I'm not in your household. So guess what? I can't tell
Right.
you how to raise your child
Yeah, but
or
you
how
could at
to.
least give advice though. You
Yeah,
can
I
give
mean,
Right.
advice,
no,
but it does take
absolutely,
Oh
advice.
yeah.
absolutely. You can
It's
get advice,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
but
oh yeah. Give
advice.
you advice and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. Not now.
You know,
Now.
you
Don't
know,
just make sure you
because
pick them up.
like I
but
wish I would have took my kids to church. I don't believe in church. I never have. But I wish I would have brought my kids to church because they
right.
need some kind of moral compass. Whether the compass you get is suffices is different, but I wish that I had brought them there and then maybe they would have had a moral compass. That would have helped them along there in their later years. But I didn't have anybody saying this is what you should do. I just know what I experienced when I was going to church and saying, oh no, dang, that's not for me. Um, but we need to give people as much advice as we can and just give them an opportunity to think broader than what they recognize themselves as being what they should do.
Right.
But you
What
know
you
what?
remember.
It's funny you say that though, because this is the thing. When we know how we were parented, you know what I'm saying, as far as how our parents raised us, with the morals, the values they instilled in us. Well, we try to do the same thing. But at the end of the day, we still found our own way as the way we parent. Now, again, we all made mistakes. We all made mistakes.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
some
There's
things.
no such thing as a perfect parent.
Right. I can look
Right.
back at certain situations where I like, well, maybe I should have did this a little different, or I should have addressed that in a different way. You see what I'm saying? But it was done is done. I can't change that. You know what I'm saying? But because we were
23.
young,
You can wear it.
we were young. I mean, I was a
I'm
parent
not
when I
23.
was 23 when I first came around. No, 22 when I came around
Yellow.
Bree. And Bree was
Mhm.
young.
You have a good night too, Ivanka. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Yellow. Who's thanks for coming?
Yeah,
Oh,
Ivanka.
somebody leaving out. Yeah, but but we had to learn
Mhm.
to find our own way as well. It's just like in life in general. You know what I mean? We still had to find our way.
Yes, me too. I think you got to think before you speak. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but but again, man, look, we done been on this thing for 2 hours, y'all. I know
I'm
people.
tired.
Yeah, so look,
It's
it's been
daytime here, so y'all going about your business. I'm going to the mall.
Well,
yeah,
you
Go
gonna
have
have
hey,
some
fun.
some Aunt B's, some pretzels
Okay.
or something.
You go
Yeah,
You do
ahead and
have
have
Aunt
fun. You
Bees.
enjoy your day, AJ. And we
yeah,
gonna enjoy your night, and everybody else enjoy your night, day,
Mm-hmm.
evening.
and
Mm-hmm.
Good night, everyone.
big
Yeah.
bro,
Good
I
night.
appreciate you coming on, man, and showing love, brother, man. We appreciate you, man. Really do, man.
Thank you,
Yeah.
AJ, for coming
Go ahead.
on. Thank you,
Go
Mom,
ahead.
for coming.
Thanks,
All right,
Mom.
y'all.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank everyone.
thanks.
And
And you
we
guys
thank
have a
you.
good night and be blessed to see you guys next week.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely. Take care. And God bless
Send me the
everyone.
message so I know.
I
All right.
got you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. See everyone later.